Hey there, Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Sunday, January 22nd. Today, the moon is in Aquarius. We had an Aquarius new moon yesterday, and also the planet Uranus is stationing to go direct today. The last of the planets that was retrograde, and so with Uranus stationing direct, we have all the planets now direct, and that means things are moving forward a little more outward, a little bit more things that you can experience in the world more than internally. When things go retrograde, we experience or process them internally, and then when they change directions to go direct, things move forward. We have more interaction with the outer world and more experience of things moving and changing. So today, I thought we'd talk about the planet Uranus, since it's kind of the star today. And we haven't talked a whole lot about Uranus recently. So Uranus is one of the outer planets. The three outer planets are Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And those outer planets move more slowly. They take years to go through a sign, to many decades to go around, all the way around the zodiac, through all of the signs. And Uranus is the planet of breakthrough. It is the planet of freedom, of shakeup, of change, of sudden and unexpected developments. So with the energy of Uranus, Uranus is a planet, so it is always somewhere, and it's always showing up somewhere in terms of what sign it's placed in and how that energy shows up for us in our experience in the world and in our lives. And right now, Uranus is in Taurus. It went into Taurus in 2020. It will move into Gemini around 2027. May go in a little bit before that. I don't know the exact dates, but around there. So in other words, we're about halfway through Uranus's transit of Taurus. And so Uranus stays in a sign for about 7 years. It's a little slower than, or a little faster actually, than Neptune and Pluto, meaning it doesn't linger quite as long in a sign as those do, but still 7 years is a long time. It's enough time to give us some background energies, some themes that are showing up in the collective. And these themes obviously would show up for you in your chart, depending on what you have in Taurus. So some people have planets in Taurus, some people don't have planets in Taurus in their natal charts. Either way, you know, if you have planets there, Uranus could be activating or triggering parts of yourself. Parts of your life could be having some energy and excitement, movement, or stress, depending on what's being activated by Uranus. If you don't have planets in Taurus, you could have some aspects from Taurus to other planets that are in other signs. Gets kind of, there's lots that could be explored, and that's certainly something you can have me or another astrologer look at in a private session. So anyway, Uranus going through Taurus affects us in the collective. It impacts the part of life that has to do with our daily routines, our normal, our expectations of things that are usually predictable and stable. And so Taurus is the sign of earthiness, of practicality, of a connection to things that are very stable and predictable. It is the energy of the seasons, of rhythms of life, of that sort of the norm that we can always count on to come back again, right? And things that are rhythmic or cyclical in nature have that Taurus energy to them. It's like, yep, this is the way it is. It's the way it's always been. It's the way it always will be. We can count on it. And so at its essence, Taurus is really about things that make sense, things that we can talk about, we can touch, we can understand. They're simple, things that fit into a box. So the proverbial thinking outside the box, right? That's referring to a box. Well, Taurus is the energy of being inside the box. It's the inside of what we know. It's the inside where our comfort zone is, where we know what to expect. We also feel comfortable. Taurus is about the pleasures that we can experience through our senses. So it's that ability to take care of our bodies, to have our bellies full, to have nice things to smell, and to feel warm and comfortable and cozy, and just to feel the way that the objects and the things in our life can support our feelings of comfort, of stability, of normal, and our regular routines. Okay, so that's what Taurus is about. And Taurus is an earth sign. And then you put the planet Uranus in Taurus. And like I said, Uranus is about destabilization. It's about shakeup, change, instability, introduction of the new, of the unconsidered, of the unexpected. And so the planet Uranus is bringing us shakeup and change to our normal, our comfortable, are predictable, right? And so there's a couple of things, well, there's more than a couple, but let's kind of sum things up in a couple of ways. And one of those ways that we can think about Uranus being in Taurus is that it is bringing shakeup and change to our normal, and you can certainly see that in the collective, starting with a pandemic, right, in 2020. And so having to find a new normal, having to feel normal when things are not stable. And so having to sort of create for ourselves a sense of comfort, a sense of routine, even when we're dealing with sort of ongoing destabilization and things being unpredictable. That's going on in the collective, in news headlines, in politics, in government, in healthcare, in all kinds of systems and things that we tend to take for granted, that are, we can depend on, things we can depend on, that are going through this experience of destabilization, of shakeup, of change. So even if it's still there for us, it might look different. It might function differently. It might make us feel, or we have to lean into it in a different way. We have to figure out how to feel comfortable within the experience of change. And so that's part of what's going on with Uranus in Taurus. Another way that we can kind of sum this up is that we are creating a new normal. We are in the process of experiencing the lightning bolts and the earthquakes that bring in the unexpected, that bring in new possibility, that give us a way of thinking outside the box, of thinking differently, of introducing new ideas, new solutions, opening to solving problems that maybe we haven't had a solution for in the past. And so we are both experiencing a destabilization of our normal things that we can depend on, and we're also experiencing a normalization of things that are new. So as things come in as new solutions, new ideas, innovative ways of being, also, by the way, Uranus brings in the energy of what is, thinking about the future and also what's best for humanity. So thinking about the collective, thinking about how we're going to operate and function together. What does that look like? What does it feel like? What do we want? How are we going to operate when we are thinking about the future? So we've got, these things that are very much in our awareness, maybe creating some fears or worries, such as climate change, such as, what's going on with democracy, such as, just some of our systems and structures that are based in old ways of thinking, needing to modernize, needing to come into the information age and manage with our lives with the kinds of technologies that we have. One of the things that you may notice, I notice in my daily life, is that there's so much more time we have to spend dealing with tech problems, or calling customer service and, just being on the phone and waiting on hold. It's almost kind of like a daily thing that you have to plan into your day for one reason or another. Something something that you have ordered and it's broken, or something that needs to be fixed or replaced. You need a warranty claim, or it could be something wrong you need support with, your internet is down, your phone is not working, all these things that require us to now go through some sort of centralized customer support that can take forever. Anyway, health insurance is another one, right? I've been having to figure out how to sign up for health insurance, and it can take forever just to deal with these little things. So technology is bringing some ways that we can do things faster, but it's also bringing inefficiencies into our lives. Anyway, the point is that we have old systems that were created before computers were invented. And so we need to be bringing some of those old systems into the modern age, and things like regulating social media. Social media didn't exist, so there are no regulations. And I was listening to something on the news about how the Facebook and some of the social media platforms are having to act like the government because nobody is regulating them, and they're having to figure it out. And do we really want these companies that are privately owned to be regulating things like free speech? So these are questions that come up, and it's part of the process of Uranus going through Taurus, where we're going to have to kind of figure out, what are our routines, what are our ways of doing things, what are the things we can count on, how do we do that, how do we operate? And so some shakeup and some change, but also some needs to modernize, to bring things into the future, dealing with the issues of climate change and the threats to life and existence on planet Earth. Not to mention, that mutual respect, respect for one another as human beings, respect for other species that we have interdependent life on Earth with. These are all things that we need to be considering. So not only because it threatens our lives, but also because what does it look like to have the level of responsibility that we have, that maybe we didn't have 500 years ago, because A, we didn't have the population that we do on the Earth, and B, we didn't have the technology, the industry, the industrial pollutants and ways of doing things that are truly causing causing harm on massive scales. So Uranus in Taurus 2020 through 2027-ish is asking us to really think about what it is we're depending on, and do we want to update that? Do we want to upgrade it? What does that look like? What could new solutions, what could innovative problem solving look like? How could we implement things that are based on new technologies, that are based on higher levels of thinking, new consciousness, a greater sense of responsibility to our fellow species and beings here on Earth? And so what does that look like? And Uranus, of course, is the planet of freedom, of breakthrough, of shakeup. And so it is really asking us to think about what needs to change and where that change needs to happen. So, of course, Uranus is always there. It's always somewhere in the zodiac. And because it's in Taurus, that shakeup, that change, that breakthrough, those themes of freedom and rebellion and rebelling against the status quo are showing up in the areas of our very sense of embodiment, of comfort, of routine, of rhythms of life, of daily habits, and things that we count on that give us comfort and take care of our bodies. So shake up in that area. Now, if you have something in your chart in Taurus, your sun in Taurus, your moon in Taurus, another planet in Taurus, you may be experiencing these shakeups very directly in your life, in your personal life. And so when Uranus is activating a part of your chart like that, it's going to depend where, if you have a sun in Taurus or a moon in Taurus, it's going to depend on what degree it is in Taurus, because we're about halfway through. Uranus is about halfway through Taurus right now. And so it is about, it's stationing direct at just almost 15 degrees. So that's halfway through. Signs are 30 degrees. So if your sun or moon or whatever is in early Taurus, you would have already had a Uranus transit. If your sun or moon or whatever is in later Taurus, that transit is still coming. If your planets are in mid Taurus, then it's happening right now. But the time window is again, that 7 years, and we're right in the middle of it. So when Uranus is activating a planet for you like that, it can be very destabilizing. So if your sun is in Taurus, that means this destabilization shows up in your identity, your sense of self, knowing who you are, that feeling of what it is that helps you ground, feel normal, feel comfortable. It's all being shaken up so that you can create for yourself and focus on in your life a new normal, a new way of being that is based on what you're becoming. And think now, you need to get a bigger picture perspective on what that could be, because sometimes, here's an example, like you have an accident and skiing accident, right? You break your leg and now you have to recover. And maybe there's some recovery time for your leg to heal, and you can't work for a while. And also, now you have to think about some sports that you do that, is going to impact how your future thinking about yourself and who you are and how you do things. And so there's an example of something sudden causing shakeup to your daily routine, but is also inviting you to think about the big picture of who you are, what's important to you. If you can't do or have the things you normally reach for that give you comfort, that are part of your understanding of yourself in the case of the sun, how you feel in the case of your moon, and then how those things are inviting you to think about yourself differently, or to think about how you take care of yourself differently in the case of the moon. So what I'm getting at is that if Uranus is transiting your sun, it's going to be asking you, whatever's happening, whatever is causing shakeup or change, is asking you to think about how you think about yourself, your sense of self, what gives you a feeling of self-esteem, of clarity about who you are, what you have to offer, how you shine your light in the world, what kinds of creative projects you work on that are near and dear to your heart, how you identify, right? And how others see you, and how you want others to see you. Those are all questions that could be being brought up by whatever is causing the destabilization in your life, whether you had a skiing accident or whether something else came in that brought unexpected change. And what is that change inviting you to think about? And how is it inviting you to think about the ways that you think about yourself and your identity and your creative expression? That is how Uranus operates. It is bringing in that energy of change, because it is asking you to step into a higher possibility for yourself, for your life. And you might say, how is breaking my leg asking me to step into a higher possibility? It's actually taking something away. Sometimes the energy of Uranus is taking something away because it's asking you to focus on something that you have been neglecting, or something you need to think about that hasn't been a priority for you, or hasn't been part of what you've thought of as being important in your life. And it's really time to think about that as a priority, and to put some time and focus into it. So that can help you expand. It can help you grow. It can help you shift your consciousness, shift into new possibilities, shift into creating the things that you want for your life. And we've been talking so much here about intentions and what it looks like to have a vision, have a dream, or a focus that you want to create, that you want to bring into your life. So Uranus brings shakeup and change that says, yeah, maybe it's taking away something temporarily, but also maybe it is opening the door to you seeing something you couldn't see before. See how that works? It's like the earthquake energy of Uranus might destroy some buildings or change the landscape, but it also is inviting you to rebuild something new that you would never have, would never have occurred to you to build. It wouldn't have been a possibility. You wouldn't have thought, oh, I'll just destroy this house so I can have a new one. Like, you would never do that, and especially in Taurus. But with the Uranus energy, it might be saying, let's just take this away so you can think about it differently. So it is actually bringing in the energy of new possibility, of shifting into something new, becoming something new. If it's your sun that is being activated by the energy of Uranus, it's going to have to do with how you think about yourself, how you identify, how you see yourself, how you express yourself. If you have a moon in Taurus, that is going to be also shaken up, but your moon is more about your inner feelings, your needs, how you take care of yourself, the experience of caring, whether that's caring for yourself or how you show up and care for others that you care about. The shake-up energy could be coming in around that feeling of caring. What does it look like to take care of yourself? It could take away something that you usually rely on for taking care of yourself. So say, for example, you have a you know, maybe it's a habit that is not the healthiest habit, right? So smoking or eating something that's not good for you. What if that energy of Uranus is showing up for you because your moon is in Taurus and you have this comfort that you go to over and over and over, and it takes it away somehow? Then you're having to figure out how to get that need met through something different, hopefully something healthier, right? So that is how the energy of Uranus operates and how it is supporting us in our healing, our growth, our ability to create the outcomes we want. Maybe you have a day-to-day routine that is you know, something that you just do because it works and you don't have time to think about it. Uranus could be coming in and disturbing that routine and saying that's not going to work anymore. And so when things are happening in your life, shake up, change, it might feel uncomfortable. Something that's feeling uncomfortable, ask yourself, how is this opening me to step into something that I wouldn't have done otherwise, and to try new things and to bring in new potential solutions to issues and problems, or just to step into higher possibilities for yourself. You know, maybe everything's going fine, but maybe it could be better. And what would that look like? And that's, you know, that Uranian energy of freedom, of breakthrough, is also asking us to think about our vision. And so it's asking us to align with the future. What does the future look like? How would you paint the picture of your future if you could paint it however you wanted? And so that's what we're doing when we're working with intentions. We have the Aquarius moon cycle that began yesterday, that we're working with this energy of bringing in new solutions, new ideas, inspirations. And so consciously choosing to align with the vision that we have. And Uranus energy, the Uranus station today is a great time, but really whenever you're watching this video, thinking about Uranus energy, thinking about how you would choose your future to be. What would you choose for your future to look like? And can you give some time and attention and space to that vision? Maybe it's journaling, writing it out. Maybe it's painting a picture. Maybe it is breathing it into your body, how it feels, what it would feel like to feel freer, to feel more aligned with infinite possibility. And that's really what Uranus is reminding us of. So it is the energy of lightning bolts, of electricity, of sudden changes, earthquakes. But what it's doing is it's reminding us that what we thought was so is really just inside of a box. And there's a whole world of infinite possibility that exists outside of that box where our comfort zone is. And to access it, we have to kind of open ourselves to things that don't feel comfortable. And so when we do that, we open to new ways of thinking, to shifts in consciousness, to higher possibilities for ourselves, and to bringing in those new possibilities, new ideas, new thinking, that can support us in becoming what we want to be in the future, instead of just repeating the past over and over again. So it lets us change. It invites us to let go. And well, it doesn't give us much choice, right? It takes it away. So we can't have what we're used to having. And so that is how the energy of Uranus in Taurus operates. Specifically because Taurus is about the normal, the comfortable, the routine, and the expected. So we have the planet of the unexpected in the sign of what we normally expect. bringing that shakeup and change to our ways of thinking, our routines, our habits, and our patterns. It's also asking us to normalize the new and to ground and to bring in and to concretize and to embody new ways of being by bringing them into physical daily expectation. The normal, bringing it into the normal, making the new the normal. And so what do you want that new to be? Because if you're not choosing on purpose, you know, here's my vision for the future, here's what I want to move toward, here's what I'm creating. If you're not choosing that on purpose, somebody else is choosing it, and you may not like what they're choosing, or your unconscious mind may be choosing it, and you may not like what your unconscious wants for you. So giving a little thought to that, to what's important to you, what you want for the future, and then moving with this energy of shakeup and change. When it shows up, when it destabilizes you, how can you take care of yourself so that you can acknowledge that bringing in a new way of being is not necessarily a bad thing. It just might involve being uncomfortable for a while. But ultimately those new ways of being could be very wonderful, aligned with infinite possibility and with all that we are capable of that hasn't even occurred to us yet. So let yourself be blown away, let yourself be inspired, let yourself be open to the possibilities and potentials that have not occurred to you yet, because there's way more out there than is in your normal expectation. So thank you, and take advantage of this Uranus station, Uranus in Taurus, by just creating space, opening your mind, opening to possibility, and thinking about the future and aligning yourself. And that will also support your intentions for this Aquarian moon cycle, or whatever moon cycle we're in when you're watching this, and opening to new ways of seeing things, new possibilities. Thank you. I thank you for being here and for your support. Thank you for subscribing to this YouTube channel. It really supports my work. Your likes and your comments on my videos are great. Sharing this video if you thought it was helpful, informative, share it with a friend. I really appreciate it. You can learn more about working with me at astrologyheals.com. You can buy my books, Astrology Heals and Cycles of Healing, that help you use astrology in your daily life to understand your own healing and change process and make that a positive thing. Astrologyheals.com. Thank you for being here. I will see you next time. I'm here every day with the astrology of unshakable self-care. Got tons of videos on tons of topics, so check it out. Maybe there's some videos you've missed that are just perfect for what you need to hear right now. And thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.